to my plea. I know you're here, come speak to me. Prone to run from you, God. Now here I am, what can I bring to offer you, King? I want my worship on fire, my only desire, to lay down my life as a sacrifice, to give up my days as an offering of praise, to give every second to live for you. Ignite my soul till I yearn for more of you. I want nothing less than to give you my best. I want my worship on fire, my only desire, to lay down my life as a sacrifice, to give up my days as an offering of praise, to give every second to live for you, to live for you, to live for the one who is holy, the only one worthy, the one who is mighty, the only one able to save generations, be praised amongst nations. We'll give every second to live for you, live for you. I want my worship on fire, my only desire, to lay down my life as a sacrifice. I want my worship on fire, my only desire, to lay down my life as a sacrifice, to give up my days as an offering of praise, to give every second to live for you, to live for you, live for you, to live for you. I wanna live for you.
Before Michael and Taylor speak sacred vows to one another, let me say to them that there are no obligations on earth that are more sweet or tender than those you are about to assume. There are no vows more solemn than those you are about to make, and I charge you, Michael and Taylor, that you remember that this covenant is not only a pledge of faith and trust in each other, but a promise to God to honor the vows that you're about to make. Michael, God has ordained the man to be the spiritual head, the responsible provider, and the initiator of love in this human relationship. By God's power, your strength must be Taylor's protection, your character her boast and pride, and you must live in such a godly way that she will find in you a haven for which the heart of a woman truly longs. Taylor, it's God's purpose that you be a loving wife, and that you respond to Michael in tenderness and with a deep sense of understanding. It is God's desire that you have that inner beauty that never fades, that eternal youth that is found in holding fast to the spiritual things that never age. Will you please face each other and join hands? Well, Michael, in taking this woman to be your wedded wife, you must promise to love her as Christ loved the church. You are to be the servant leader of your family. You are to love your wife, comfort her, honor her, and cherish her. Forsaking all others, you are to cleave only to her, and be to her in all things a true and faithful husband, so long as you both shall live. Do you so promise? Taylor, in taking this man to be your wedded husband before God, your charge according to the word of God is to be a loving helper to Michael. You are to love him, comfort him, honor him, and cherish him. Forsaking all others, you are to cleave only to him, and be to him in all things a true and faithful wife, so long as you both shall live. Do you so promise? Well, Michael has written his own vows, and Taylor has never heard these vows before, and he would like to share these with Taylor at this time. So Michael, I'm going to turn this microphone over to you.
Taylor, I was always told two things when it came to a successful relationship. That one, I should first become best friends with a woman before I entered the relationship, and two, that I should wait upon God's timing to pursue that woman. The truth is, I needed to become whole with myself and my relationship with God before I could ever attempt to lead a woman in marriage. I'm so thankful that I was able to take a solid 2 years to work on my relationship with Christ and truly find out who I am in Him before I pursued you and started taking a few firsts in my life. When I first met you, I thought there's no way a girl could be this happy all of the time. But I soon realized this was no act, this was no fake personality. Instead, it was literally the joy of being filled with Christ and that joy radiating for all to see. For the first time, I was able to actually be myself in its entirety. I did not have to put on my own act to try to bolster myself in order to impress you. I could simply be my goofy yet analytical self at all times. For the first time, I met someone who was more focused on pursuing her education, loving her family and friends, and above all, serving to glorify our awesome God. For the first time, I had an opportunity to love a woman in a godly relationship. And for the first time, and only time, I get to make these promises to you. I promise to always put God above our relationship, that I will not rely on you for my own value or happiness, and not make you take on the role that only God can fulfill. I promise to apologize and forgive immediately whenever one of us wrongs the other. I pray we both understand the person standing before us is only in their earthly body and will make mistakes. But I pray we also realize our glorified bodies are also within each other, and that is who we really are once this life fades away. I promise to continue to lead and love you just as Christ loved the church. And if He was willing to be hung on a cross for a sinner like you and me, then the very least I can do is lay down my own life for the woman I love. I promise to serve you just as Christ came not to be served, but to serve. And I promise to be the husband and someday father that desires nothing more than to glorify God with whatever family we're blessed with. I promise that I will not give you a fairy tale ending, but instead offer you a true, real, everlasting covenant with our everlasting God. I finally promise that these promises I'm making to you now would not end here today. I pray we do not view our marriage as complete after our wedding day, but view today as just the start of our journey. My prayer is that we continue to make these promises daily for the entirety of our marriage. And while this is the first I'm making these promises to someone, I plan on saying these promises to only one person in my life, you. So I love you, little bud.
Well, Taylor has written her own vows that Michael has never heard, and so she would like to share these with Michael at this time.
Michael, for a long time, my past experiences had led me to believe that you only existed in my deepest prayers. From the time I was very young, I knew what I wanted, and probably even more so what I didn't want, in a future husband. When I was in my first semester of college, Pastor Matt advised me to make a list of those qualities that I did want, and to put that list in my Bible to pray over it every single night. As I matured and experienced different trials, my list was altered, and things like must be good at sports was replaced with must be good at making Jesus the ultimate priority of his life. Lucky for me, you're good at both. But in all seriousness, for a while I obsessed over this list. I would enter into relationships knowing that the man didn't possess all of the qualities I wanted him to, but thought that maybe I could help change him into someone who would eventually possess those qualities. But all that left me with was lots of sleepless nights filled with heartbreak and tears. Eventually, though, Jesus taught me that it wasn't my job to change anyone to fit into that list. But what was my job was to dissect that list that I'd made and to not search for someone else to fulfill it, but instead to allow Jesus to transform me into a woman that possessed those qualities myself. I had no business holding a man to a standard that I couldn't hold myself to. So fast forward through months of being challenged, stretched, and molded by Jesus, I finally had the privilege of meeting, becoming friends with, and getting to know you. And that privilege has been the most beautiful, humbling, and amazing privilege that I've ever been blessed with. Every day I learn more about you, and every day I fall deeper in love with the man that God has created you to be. I will never forget one time that we were sitting on your couch, studying for an exam together. I remember just looking at you and having my eyes fill up with tears because what I saw in front of me was a man that looked more like Jesus than anyone I had ever met. It was almost like Jesus was sitting on that couch with me. And I don't mean to compare you to him, because I know that there is no comparison, but it truly was an amazing moment for me that made me feel like I was finally safe and in the exact place that Jesus wanted me to be. It led me to think about your story and about how you so badly wanted to be a professional baseball player and how you were well on your way of reaching your dream. And to make sure that you ended up where you were supposed to, God literally had to break your body and leave you with scars to prove it. Every time I look at those scars of yours, I'm reminded again of Jesus. I'm reminded of the intensity of his love for us, proven by his own scars, and the intentionality of his plan for our life when I look at the scars he left you with. I love you so much, and I'm continuously amazed by your boldness, bravery, and unwavering faith. And just the thought of being able to stand here with you today before Jesus is such a humbling and overwhelming experience. It's an experience that I vow to never take for granted, and it's an experience that I promise to treasure, not just today, but every day until I take my last breath on this earth. As we're about to enter into this holy covenant of marriage, I would like to make you a few promises. First and foremost, I promise to daily seek guidance from Jesus on how to best love and serve you. I promise to look at you not only as my husband, but also as a miraculous creation, created by the same God who created the heavens and the earth. I promise to submit to you every day of our lives, having full confidence in your ability to consult with and walk with the Lord. I promise to wholeheartedly believe in every dream you ever have. I promise to acknowledge that we all fall short of the glory of God, so I promise to refuse to hold you to unreasonable standards. I promise to admit to my faults and shortcomings and embrace them as opportunities to learn and to grow. I promise to understand that we will have disagreements and arguments, but I promise to use them as opportunities to fight towards figuring out what is right instead of who is right. I promise to not listen to what Disney, Hollywood, and romance novels say about marriage, but instead I promise to hold on to every word that the Bible says about marriage. I promise to remain faithful to you and to remain faithful to our marriage in all circumstances. I promise to never let divorce be an option. I promise to do my very best to protect your mind, heart, and body from the sin of this world. I promise to strive towards making our marriage a representation of the love that Jesus has for us. I promise to sacrificially put your needs above mine, and I promise to view that as a privilege. I promise to daily uplift you in prayer, asking God to continue molding you into the man that he has created you to be. And finally, I promise to spend the rest of my life bringing out every ounce of potential that God has given you, and ultimately preparing you for the day that you will meet your Creator.
Well, having promised to be faithful to each other, having declared your love for each other, and having sealed these promises by giving and receiving rings, acting in the authority vested in me by the laws of this state, and trusting in God for his sanction and blessing, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Michael, for the very first time, you may kiss your girlfriend, you may kiss your fiance, and now you may kiss your wife, okay? All right. It is an honor to present to you for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. Michael Vracar.